We haven't really talked since the initiative passed, at least not
That's
in
right.
person. I noticed that you were doing something new because Decriminalize Denver, your Facebook page, changed to SPORE.
It did.
What's happening? What is SPORE?
SPORE. SPORE is the Society for Psychedelic Outreach, Reform, and Education. We're a Colorado-based nonprofit, and our mission is to transform public opinion to normalize and decriminalize the responsible use, possession, and cultivation of psilocybin mushrooms and also other psychedelic plants and fungi. Nationally, I mean, there are a ton of people talking about psilocybin right now. It even goes so far as there's what I like to call a psychedelic caucus of congressmen and women who recently supported a bill sponsored by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to loosen the restrictions on psychedelic research, and in particular research related to psilocybin. And so it's a national conversation.
What is the end game? What do you want?
Psilocybin mushrooms are decriminalized nationally no later than 2026. And then we're looking at what's possible in addition to decriminalization. There is a regulatory landscape that's evolving out of this conversation. And so I think that as long as individuals are no longer being imprisoned for using mushrooms and other psychedelics, and there are community resources available to individuals who want to explore using those substances in a safe and responsible way, then we can start looking at additional models that encourage commerce.